welcome to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni. I always forget to introduce myself, but I've done it this time, I've remembered. It's Sunday the 13th of January 2019 and I'm back for a mid-January update. I had a video up the other day which you may or may not have watched. It's just my year of WIPs 2019. It's also a combination of my WIPocalypse 2019 and my Stitch 9 Challenge 9 pieces. So those all worked in quite well. Since then, Melanie at Soulful Stitching has upped the ante on the year of WIPs, and she's added an extreme challenge where she has suggested adding some more WIPs to it. So I'll talk about a bit more of that later on. I'm leaving that to the end because I don't know how I'm going to go for time, and it may be that I'll do that as a separate video. If not, it'll be at the end of this one, but I might have to cut and clear a few things and bring them forwards. It might be here and it might not be here. We'll see what happens. But today I have, what have I got? A table full of stuff. If you could see what's on my table. And I would attempt to move the camera and show you, but knowing my luck, it won't go back in the same position, and yeah, it'll end up being an absolute mess. So, got the trusty notebook out. So, this is FlossTube number 20 for me, and I must check back at some point and see when I started recording these, because I had a big back gap of about close to a year, pretty over, no, I don't know how long it was, but I did have a gap in between when I sort of first started doing them and then when I started again late last year. So I must have a look and see how long I've actually had a channel doing videos, but it's irrelevant. It was just a thought that popped into the brain. Yeah, we have those thoughts every now and then. So today we have WIPs, finishes, a finish, some FFOs. I have a little bit of haul. I have some things that I'm all into at the moment, if I can call it that. And what else? My book that I was going to tell you about quickly. And I think, yeah, it's a bit of that and it's a bit of that. So we'll get into it anyway. So my last video was just before New Year, and I started a project, I suppose you can call it project. It's not a WIP anymore, it's finished, so I'll show you that in a minute. And I also told you about the couple of new starts that I was going to have for New Year's Day. You have seen those starts if you watched my Year of WIPs video, but I'll show you again briefly, just in case that people haven't seen that. And I've also pulled out a couple of WIPs for some challenges that I'm doing in different Facebook groups, so I'll tell you about those when we get there. So what should we start with? Maybe I'll start with my WIPs. How's that? It's always a good place to start, isn't it? So I'll just pop that there and hope that it stays open and doesn't go a bit crazy. And I'm just going to reorganize myself a little bit because I brought in a cup of tea and then I moved things, and now I'm sort of got to make sure I don't knock my cup of tea over, so bear with me for a sec while I'll just rearrange. Okay, so on Christmas Day, I started this design here, which is the Leslie Teare 12 Days of Christmas. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you've seen through any of the Stitch Mania or Leslie Teare Facebook groups or anything like that, you'll see I've finished this now. So the plan was, it was for Stitch Mania's Stitchmas, which was to stitch 12 days of Christmas, essentially, whatever fitted into the theme of 12 days of Christmas, which is why I chose an actual 12 days of Christmas chart. This came from the Cross Stitch Crazy magazine, but I cannot remember what it actually was, because at the time I didn't write a number on it when I pulled it out the magazine. Every now and then I would forget to do that, and yeah, and this was one of those ones, but it is done. It is done. So this is what it looks like. All done. All prettied. All pretty. All done. So as you can see, it is in a circle because it's was designed as a clock. I'm not sure personally if I'm going to turn it into a clock. I may, but I'm not 100% certain yet. I'll just stick them on there. So in the design, I made some changes. So the design was designed for the numbers to be in black and backstitched in red, and I didn't want them in black, so I did them in Krynic, and I just did them on the number 8 braid and then just backstitched them in red. I also made little changes where I put some beads in instead of French knots. I added specks of gold in places. I did do French knots in the black, so any black French knots I did. The bagpipes, I did the backstitch in Krynic, number 8 braid, just to be something a little bit different, and sort of like weaved it as if it was a bit of a weave. What else did I do? Yeah, the partridge, I put a bit of gold on his pear. The heart that the turtle dove's got, I did the ribbon in number 8 Krynic, yes I did, and I put red and green beads on the heart instead of French knots. For my little French hen, I just put a little bit of gold on his wing. Nothing fancy there. The calling bird, he's got red beads for his holly. The gold ring, I did all in gold. And then the rest of them were just little bits of gold or beads as required. So that was my little bit of a bling up on that. This is stitched on 28 count Joblin, and it's in a fabric called Grass to Sea, Grass to Sky from Pole Stitches, but I just used the blue section. I didn't want to use the green bit down the bottom. But there is hints of green in it, but you can't actually see it. It's just a couple of splodges of green, mainly on this side. So that's it. So that was that finish. So that I started on the 25th of December and finished on the 6th of January. So quite pleased with that. It's nice to have one finish for the year so far. So done. I also worked on, bear with me, I'll just get my little trusty stitching journal out as well. So basically that was my main stitching. So besides New Year's Day, I started a couple of things. Now, for those that have seen this already, apologies. But I did start the Quaker A Halloween, which is a Jardine Privé one. This is obviously designed for just plain black and white on a sort of natural thread fabric, whatever. Me being me, I don't do that sometimes. So I've done mine on Jello Shots, 32 count Belfast from Hand Dyed by Stephanie, and I'm doing it in purple silk. And I will decide whether it's going to, the white bits are going to be 3865 or white. I haven't decided yet, or it might even be more of a creamier colour, I don't know yet. So that's where I got to on New Year's Day. I'm doing this for Stitch Mania's Halloween yearly sale, so where so January was Haunted House, so where it fits in for Stitch Mania's yearly sale, this will come out. I'm also doing it for my Halloween, the Halloween Orny blog that I'm part of, and we're following the Stitch Mania themes this year, which will make it nice and easy because it means I can slot this in for those monthly themes as well. So again, Haunted House. And this is the the silk that I'm doing it in. It's just a purple silk from Silks For You here in Australia, which I mentioned in my previous video that that's what I was going to be doing, and that's what I did. So putting all these things down to the side. The other New Year start I had on New Year's Day, again, you would have seen if you've watched my WIPs video, because it is what it is. This is my other one. So this is 12 Days of Christmas, which I should show you the design first. I'll show that in a minute. I just started the pear, partridge in a pear tree. So that's all I did on New Year's Day. Not very much at all, and haven't touched it since. I've got to get back to that some point this month before the end of the month, because I need to get the partridge finished. And this is the design. This is a Maria Diaz 12 Days of Christmas, and it came out of the Cross Stitch Collection 2001 Christmas issue. And essentially each month I will do one of those motifs and a bit of border, so that the plan is to get that one finished by the end of the year. That forms part of my design for Stitch Mania's Christmas All Year Round sale, and also for the Christmas blog sale, which will fit in. The Christmas blog sale, I'll tell you more as I go with that each month, because we have three themes this year. 12 Days of Christmas, because it's always very popular and there's so many different designs out there, or so many things that people can fit into that, so we always keep that. We always keep it the Christmas Carol theme, so this will be the second year I think we've done the Christmas carols. So again, we have certain themes for that. So this month it's Blue Christmas, and I actually have a design picked out that I'll start sometime in the next week or two for that. And then we've added a third theme this time, which will be to stitch a design from the Just Cross Stitch magazine for the issues between 2000 and 2010 or something, those 10 issues, or 2001 to 2010, whatever's on that CD, which I happen to have, so I can take part in that as well. So what I've tried to do is, I spent some time the other day, I went through the CD for the years, so we randomly got the years. Kay's just picked some the years and put them in randomly. So I've gone to that issue and then looked to see if I can find a design that fits in with the Christmas Carol. So like with Blue Christmas is the Christmas Carol for January, I found a design that's, it's a blue, it's a cross, a Christmas cross, but it's Blue Christmas. So if not, if I don't get that done, I'll at least get the 12 Days of Christmas done, so I've done my monthly one for that particular sale. So that's those two new starts that I had on New Year's Day. I continued to work on my Leslie Chair one for the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th. On the 4th I had another new start, and this time I started the Farmhouse Christmas series, and this is the Red Barn. And it's the first one, was it? Little Red Barn, yes. So this is Farmhouse Christmas number 1. I am going to do all of these at some point. I'm not going to say I'm going to get them done this year. I'd like to get them done this year, but I'm not putting pressure on myself, because last year I said I was going to get all the sheep virtues done last year, and I've done 4 or 3.5. And I still want to do the little sheep virtues. So where they fall into sales, I'm just going to slot these in. So this one has had a couple of, besides it being a new year, new start, it's had another outing this month already, because Cross Stitch Finish Line has a Old MacDonald Had a Farm sale. So this went in for that one, which is partly why I started it. I could have used my sheep virtues, but I wanted a new start. So, you know, bright shiny things, bright shiny things. So I was, when I first got these, I was planning that I would stitch them all together as per how Diane had put that border up on her website, and I did download that, and I thought, oh, I'm going to do them all in one. And then I went, no, changed my mind. I want to have individual, because Little Sheep Virtues I'm doing all as one big piece with the CCN Meadows one, Sheep in the Meadows one in the middle, so I'm doing that layout. So I thought I'd do these all individually. And this is it. So, ooh, can't really see the colour, can you? So this is actually on Picture This Plus Heritage, so it is a greeny, browny colour, but it's not quite showing up today. I'm doing these very differently. I'm doing it on 36 count, so I'm doing it 1/2 in the cord 4 threads, and I actually think it's turned out quite nicely. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm enjoying doing the 36 count, I'm enjoying doing the 1/2, and yeah, I'm really quite pleased with that. It's just a shame I can't show you the colour, but I'm sure most people know what Heritage looks like. So I have enough to do at least the first 4. I think I managed to cut the fabric sheet that I had into 4 pieces, so I've got enough to do the first 4 on Heritage, so I'll have to order some more, because that came as part of my Fabric of the Month from Crazy Annie. So that leads us up to day 5. So day 5 in Stitch Mania is the full coverage sale for the one. It's a one-day sale. I'm not normally a full coverage person, but I do have a dimensions kit which is full coverage on the go, which I started way back when. I can't remember when I started kitty litter. Bear with me for a second. I may be able to find it really quickly. If I can't, don't stress. I'm sure. No, I can't find it really quickly. That's all right. I know it wasn't last year. It must have been the year before, because my plan was always to do this last year for the full coverage sale, but that didn't pan out. So I put it into a different bag because that plastic cover was giving me the whoops. It was too hard to do anything. So this is kitty litter. It is a gold dimensions kit, and like all gold dimensions kits, comes with all its pretty threads and stuff. I've just braided them because they were getting into a tangled mess, and the blended threads I just put on my own thread card. So essentially this is it. So it's on the 18 count Ada, and I am doing it on the 18 count Ada, and I wish I wasn't because it's horrid, stiff and revolting, but that's okay. It is what it is. We can do it. So this is where it's at now. So when I first started, all I'd done was across the top, and when I came back to it on the 5th, I filled in some more over here, some of the blended threads, and then I decided to start coming down to the end of the page break, essentially, where it's just to make it easier. And this is horrid. This is in half a cross stitch, and it's blended 5 threads, so 3 of one, 2 of another, and it is driving me insane. But it does look pretty, as you can see the sort of the blending. So to do just a little bit different going down the side, but I actually got quite a lot done because I spent most of the afternoon on it and actually gave it a good sort of couple of hours on it and got all that done. So this will come out hopefully again on the 5th of every month. I'm going to try and be a good girl and do that because, you know, it's so cute and I really would like to get it done. I'm pretty sure I must have started in 2017. I'm pretty sure it'd be about when I started it. So I'm not going to finish it. I know I'm not going to finish it this year. I'm not even going to say when I could finish it. But if I could get a good bit of work on it in 12 months, it'd be really good. Of course, that will depend on where the 5th falls, because if the 5th falls on a weekend, I'll be okay. I'll get some good coverage time on it. If it falls during the week, I'm probably only going to get it an hour or 2 at night. So we'll just see what happens. And as you see, I started on the far side instead of in the middle. I should have started in the middle, and maybe then I'd be doing cross stitches and I'd be happier with it, but it's okay. It's all cool, so we're not going to stress. So that was week 1, and on to week 2. So last Sunday, where is it? I had another start. This one, which if you do follow me on Instagram, you would have seen. Just excuse a little bit of noise for a second. So this is Joy by Ravaris. It's in the cross stitch, just cross stitch 2018 ornament issue. Sorry, my brain's just not working today. I have to give it a jolt of something. This is the January ornament for the Just Cross Stitch sale on Facebook, which I'm a part of, have been for a couple of years, and last year I didn't do very well. I think I only got 3 done, so this year I've got to make a better effort to get more done. And this is the first one. So I have decided to stitch it very differently. This is just literally a scrap of the 32 count raw gold Belfast. Now this little tiny weeny scrap is what was left over from a number of years ago. When Kay from Kay's Cross Stitch used to blog, she had a giveaway, and her giveaway included some fabric, Lizzie Kate designs, which I've stitched 2 of. It was one of the Tidy Tidings, and some thread as well to stitch some of those designs. This was the only bit of left. I managed to get 2 of the ornaments out, and I had this little bit left. And I never wanted to throw it out or anything because, you know, we can reuse these things. It's just about being creative. So I've kept it, and I must get some more of this. I love, 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 love this fabric. So as you can see, I'm doing it differently. I've pulled out my Jodery threads because, you know, they're sitting in there doing nothing. And Kerry and Stitch has made the comment that if we don't use them, what are we getting them for? Sort of some similar lines of those comments. So I thought, you know what? It's about time I did just step out of the box a bit. So the main word I'm doing this is the limited edition Jodery from December 2016, and this is called Elf. So it ranges from sort of greens and reds. I'm fussy cutting and just using this bit for the word joy, and you can see I've got the bits left over. So for some of the green in the present, I'm going to use the green. And I think, did I use the green? Yes, I used that little bit of the green for the leaf in the middle. The little leaf in the middle, I used that. And that's just 840, that's just standard DMC. So for the other bits of it, I've chosen to use Genie, was it Genie of the Ring? Which is a tealy, whoopsie, hang on, it's disappearing. So it's like a tealy colour. I've also picked up my what's left of my Wuthering Heights, which I use for my 12 Days of Christmas, my Plum Street sampler one. I don't think I'm going to use this. This is just, I pulled this out in case I need a bit of dark green. I'm also going to use the Winter Frost. I think it's called Winter Frost. So this was March 27, a club exclusive. So there's some light blues and whites and stuff. And I thought I could probably use that for the snow. And then, of course, it's just 840 DMC. So that is what I'm doing. Who knows whether that will come off, but I'm hoping that somewhere along the line it works. But at the moment, I think that's just, it has turned out really well. It looks like candy stripes, so it's actually turned out really pretty. One must get back to it. One must get back to it. So I'll just pop that back in there quickly. Hopefully quickly. So I don't lose that. So that was my new start last Sunday. What did I do next? So I did that Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday, I went back to the Farmhouse Christmas because that was the cross-stitch finish line. Old MacDonald had a farm, the last day of that. On the 9th, Stitch Mania had a one-day sale called the Nerd Sale, and you had to stitch on something with words. So I've got a few things with words. I could have pulled out pretty much anything. But in this case, I decided to pull out one that I started last year, which is an Ursula Michael one, and it's called, well, the magazine called it Hollywood Art. It's a bit hard to see, it's a bit of a glare. So essentially, it's just, you know, typical Ursula Michael. And this came from the World of Cross Stitching issue 223. I don't think I'm going to turn it into a cushion, but we'll see what happens. So this is what she looks like now. I had done basically all of that previously, and all I did, and if I can get it to show you, I had got to so I had done S&P. So the other night I just finished off Spruce, the little bit of a bow, and I started on the Noel. And that's it. So this is just on a half of a Jodery Designs fabric, and it's called Woolen Mittens. It was one of the limited edition fabrics of the month. And that's what it's going to look like. It's a bit hard to see in the glare. It's not really the right light for this one, but I quite like that. And I'm just doing it pretty much in the cord 4 DMCs. I haven't as yet changed anything on that one, I don't think. So that was the word sale. What did I do? So then on Thursday I stitched again on Joy. Now Friday, let's say Sunday. Yeah, so Friday, Saturday and today is the cross stitch finish line stitch along, stitch-a-thon, where you go stitch 500 stitches in the weekend. It is also, what is the other one? I wrote it down. What's it called? I can never remember. Ultimate Cross Stitch Group. they're doing their 800 different sale, what's it, can't remember what it's called, some like a bingo sale or something, but you have to stitch 800 stitches for that. And also in the Magical School of Stitching and Reading, the weekly challenge was to stitch 309 stitches in your house colours. So my house is Hufflepuff, yellow and black. So they did modify the challenge a little bit, and you would earn 5 points for doing 300 in either one of the two colours, or you got double points if you did them in two. So I racked my brain to think, what have I got in my WIPs that has got yellow and black? And then one of the girls who's in Ravenclaw, I think, or one of the other ones, she put a thing on Instagram where she'd started stitching a bee. Oh, yellow and black, bees, perfect. No, I'd have to have a new start. And I just couldn't be bothered. I thought, no, I must have something that I can at least find 309 stitches of black. So I found something. I then found something that I can do 309 stitches of yellow. Perfect. So that's what I did. So the black was this one. Oh, hang on, where's my little board? Bear with. So this is a Brooks Books. This is a freebie from Brooks Books, and I can't remember when I last stitched on these guys. This is called Happy Halloween, and all I had to do for my 309 stitches was I did the black there and started filling in the black there, and that was just the timer for the chicken. I have to go and stop in a second and come back. So that's where I got to for my 300, oh, it's actually a little bit more than 309 because I finished off that top orange row. So that was that one. So then, I can't show you the chart of that because I only have a chart, I don't have a finished picture. So I managed to do 309 black and there was 15 orange. So I was, getting halfway towards my goal. The next one I pulled out, which I worked on yesterday, was Forever Friends, which is a Mill Hill kit, and there's all that yellow doggy because I'd only started the purple in the cat and put him down. This is a linen kit, and oh my god, the linen, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. But this is where it's up to now, and see, I can't even, let me just put my board behind it, maybe that might help. It's so thin and revolting, this linen. It is really, really revolting. But it is what it is. And we can get round it because we're clever. So, magnets flying around. So I did all of that yellow yesterday and last night. Oops, there we go. So the purple I'd already done. I'd actually went up a little bit more higher on that purple, but I did all of that yellow. So that is not quite 300. I think that was 200 and something stitches. So I've got to come back to it today, put another 100 stitches in, and then I would have done that challenge, which is good because that finishes today. So I've got to get that posted and done today. And then I will just go back on to Quaker Halloween this afternoon and a little bit this evening. We've got to go out this afternoon for a couple of hours, but when I get back I'll try and get in another couple of 100 stitches or so on the Quaker Halloween, which will then give me my more than 500. So that's given me my 500 for Stitchathon, and then if I can do a bit more on the Quaker Halloween, that'll give me my 800. Hopefully, fingers crossed, for the weekend for the Ultimate Cross Stitch Group one. Now, because my alarm just went off, I will stop the video here. I'll actually give myself some time to tidy up. I'll come back and do haul, book, and the rest. So this will get stitched together. And then I may have to leave my challenge one till later. We'll see how we go. But I'll be back in a moment. So, see you soon. Right, okay, I'm back. Chicken's out the oven, oven's turned off, dog will have tea tonight. Aren't we good? Righty-ho, so that was a update of the last 2 weeks. Don't expect that to be repeated in the sense of the amount of stitching, because now, you know, back at work, the times that I have available for stitching is literally a couple of hours in the evening and a bit of time on the weekend. So it is what it is. Who knows what will get done. So now, what did my notes say? What was I going to go on to next? I've told you my 4 new starts that I've had so far. I've told you my finish. Oh, that's right, FFOs. Now, don't get overly excited on this, but I do have some FFOs. So in my little trusty box, I have my Mill Hills. So I don't know if I've ever showed these, but previously I had finished the little puppy. Can't remember, what was your name? Don't know, can't remember now. Little Scotty dog of some sort. And I'd had the little bird. And I had done the For Santa. Little side note, the beads that were left over from For Santa is what I used on my 12 Days of Christmas, because there was stacks of red and green beads and they were just the right size. They were only little ones, so I repurposed, as you do. So also in this box is my little Santa's coming that I showed you on my previous video. So these just are going to sit in here now for Christmas, because they were on the Christmas tree. So the other day, this was after Christmas of course, but they did manage one day on the Christmas tree before we took down the Christmas tree. So these are all previously stitched. And so I FFO'd my little rain dog. And I've just backed them all in felt. The flip-flops. Oh, come on. Fingers. Flip-flops. And he's just FFO, just white felt on the back with a little white ribbon. Little rubber ducky. And a little pumpkin. So technically it's not a Christmas one, it's a Halloween one, but it went on the Christmas tree anyway for 5 minutes. So I just decided one day I needed to get them done, because they were all sitting in the cupboard of having been finished and just not being FFO'd. And I thought, you know what, do them. Takes no time at all. But that leads into another blogging cell that one of my fellow bloggers has decided to challenge us to. And this is Rachel, she's a 10-hour stitcher on the blogs. I will link below her blog if anyone's interested in doing this cell and joining up. So what she has challenged people to is to once a month on the 10th of the month post an FFO. So it's a way of getting all those little things you've got sitting in your underbed box or your box of shame or whatever you call it out of that box, FFO'd and on show or whatever you do with it. So I had those Mill Hills that surprisingly had done this beforehand, so I'm going to put them up for my February posting because it will start on the 10th of February, but I did them in January, so I'm going to shoehorn them in. But you never know, I may get myself organised enough to do something else, but I decided that I would take part in this because one of the things I want to do this year is to FFO a lot of the smalls that I've got sitting in my under the bed box. So yeah, stay tuned, that might happen. Now another thing that I did while I was on my break from work is I got my husband to teach me to make project bags. So he makes all my project bags normally, but now that he is starting to get rather busy with the new stuff he's doing for his role, was changed. Start again. He's selling he's selling a business to get rid of the financial planning business, and hopefully, fingers crossed, It is finally going to settle on Friday, only a month later than it was supposed to, but that's okay. Fingers crossed, toes, legs, everything. So what he's going to be doing, and I think I mentioned this in my previous video, is that he's now going to be doing embroidery, so commercial embroidery, so embroidering hats, shirts, and the like. So he used to do my project bags when he was doing his, because he used to quilt and stuff. He doesn't do a lot of that anymore because he's got more into machine embroidery. So I got him to teach me, and why I had to get him to teach me is, yeah, I can sew, I just don't do it. But he had perfected basically project bags. So this was the first one. These came from Vonna, the Twisted Stitches original idea. So it's her idea, and we sort of just made it easier to do it. But they're velcroed on, the little tabs are velcroed on. And I want to try and work something out where I put, I don't know, a button or something on, or one of the things I might do is sew a little vinyl tab here so that I can slot something in to let me know. But I'm generally pretty good at remembering what's in them. Like, I know what's in this. Let's go load. Ready to be kitted up. See? So this is the one I did with him watching. So I just basically got some fabric out of the cupboard that's nothing fancy in case I stuffed it up. So of course there was nothing fancy inside, but I didn't stuff it up. So I was quite pleased. So then I thought, well, if I've done one, I'm going to do another one so that I can see if I can do it. So I then did this one on my own, which was quite good. It all worked. And I just put some plain fabric on the inside with a bit of Velcro. So what's in here, do you ask? Well, what's in here? So what's in here is going to be my new start in another week or so, probably either Thursday, Friday, somewhere over the weekend. In fact, it's part of the plans, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So this is Forever and Ever, which is the Cottage Garden Sampling Songbird series. I'm collecting them all, and I will be stitching them all at some point. And I'm going to stitch this one on 36 count feldspar, picture this plus. And I think I worked it out, I can get 2 on this, so they'll probably all go on 36 count, and I've got all the weeks. So that is there for the time being. So that's what I'm all into, making my own project bags. So watch this space because, oh, I bought some of this the other day when we went to a quilting shop. So this is ground nutshells with lavender. FFOs, told you, FFOs. So what I also did is, when we were at Spotlight, I saw this fabric. This is Harry Potter fabric. So this will be a project bag. I love this fabric, it's so cute. They had a whole range of different ones, and they had some with the little Harry Potter people, but it was really childish, and I thought, no, I don't want that. But I quite like the Marauders map. And then they also just had Harry Potter, just the words. So I'm sort of thinking that will be either the lining or I'll make a separate bag. But I got a meter that was on sale, it was half price, which I didn't realise because I got a meter at what I thought was the real price. And then when we went to pay for it, it was half the price. I went, damn it, Janet. But never mind, doesn't matter. So then when we went shopping the other day, we should never have holidays because I go shopping. So we went up to Midland and went to the craft shop up there, and I found this fabric. I love, 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 love this fabric. Isn't this just gorgeous to see? It's fairies going all different ways. Now I have some fabric by this designer in my cupboard. It's Lorelei. Lorelei, I think her name is. Is it Lorelei? What's her name? That's her name? Yes, Lorelei Harris. Love her fabric. Absolutely love the designs that she does. I've got some gorgeous ladies, which when I really do know what I'm doing with my project bags, I will make a project bag out of this one, and one of my fairies will be in here. Not sure which one yet, but one of the fairies that I'm doing. Whether it's a Joan Elliott or a Nora Corbett, I'm not sure. But yeah, love that fabric. I also, different shop, but also when we were in Midland, I found this fabric. No, actually no, I got this from Carol's as well. So this is just a Paris one. So again, project bag. And it's just, yeah, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous Paris. So that's a project bag to come. And then when we were at Handcrafter's house, I was wandering around and I'd said to Mark, I'm not buying any more because I bought that and I was going to Stitch's Corner to spend my birthday money that my brother gave me because he gave me a gift voucher. So I was going there to do that and I said, no, we won't do any more because I'm sure to buy something else. And I bought too much anyway recently, so I was trying not to do any more. But I was wandering around and I saw this. Now, I don't know, there's a subliminal thing happening here in a sense, because just before Christmas on Facebook, one of the quilting people had, not this particular, it's this range of fabric. It wasn't this one, it was one, I think it had cats and hearts or something, which they didn't have, but I didn't even realise what I'd done until I got home and I was going through my photos and clearing photos off my iPad the other day, and I went to Mark, oh, I screenshot this and look what I bought. So it was subliminal, but isn't it just gorgeous? Just absolutely gorgeous. Just love them. But they had a couple of different other types. They had a white background, but I liked them on the black. So again, this is going to be a project bag, and this is a coordinating fabric that goes with it. Just absolutely gorgeous. So it is, does it say what it is? Just says Cat I Chewed by Anne Orr. So that's the range of fabric. Just give it time, hopefully it's focused. So yeah. So again, whether this becomes a project bag on its own or is inside that, I'm not sure yet. I'll just decide what I'm going to do. I may actually just do that as a separate project bag, because I think it's too nice to be hidden inside a project bag. So, more project bags to come. So that's the first part of haul. The second part of haul is, back before Christmas, I ordered some new needle minders from Christine at Needle Minder Obsession. Then they finally turned up because the mail in this country has been so slow over Christmas, New Year. So they finally turned up, and you got Alice and Little Red Riding Hood. Just gorgeous little clay needle minders. Just absolutely love these. So that's those. Couldn't resist them. I also got my November Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month, which turned up just after Christmas. After New Year. So this is Helix in 36 count and 28 count. And I'm waiting on my December one, which has got the little extra. Goodness knows when that's going to get here, because everything is so slow at the moment with the mail. I also got an order from Marie at Just Add Needles, which again I placed before Christmas, and it just took forever to get here. And it's not Marie's fault, it's just the mail's fault, because Marie sent it off the day after I ordered it. It just took a month to get here, which is unusual. And it's mirrors, of course. So we have Lily of the Woods, the Dreaming Fairy. We also have the Forest Goddess. And with this one I got the beads to go with that one. So that's the Forest Goddess. And then I also found she had Rose Celebration, so I grabbed that one as well. And then I have more mirrors, because my brother gave me a gift voucher for the local stitch shop, and it's taken me till now to go there because they're not open on Saturdays, and when you work 5 days a week, it's very hard to get to a shop that's not open on Saturday. So we went down there on a couple of days after New Year, and I managed to get Scent of Old Roses. Oh, it's in plastic, so I haven't taken it out. So Scent of Old Roses and Mermaid of Atlantis. So I've got those now as well. And I also just picked up a couple of needles that I wanted, some extra petite needles, and can't think what else I bought. I think that was it. So that's haul. The last thing I thought I would mention is on my December video, I mentioned that I was starting a book, and I said how fantastic it had started off as. Now I had finished that, and I think I put a little note at the bottom when I did my video to say that I had finished it, and it was fantastic. So that was The Lost Man by Jane Harper. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and I really struggled to put this down once I started it. So, and because obviously we're on holidays, I had a bit more time to read than I normally do. So it was like morning, night, put it down, you got to go to sleep, put it down, you got to go and do things. So, but absolutely fantastic. Mark's read it now as well. He devoured it the same as I did. I think he didn't do what I did, where I put it down and tried to sort of spread it out. He read it in like a day and a half or something. But absolutely, both of us loved that book. So I'm anxiously waiting for her next one. And then I picked up this one. So this is Leanne Moriarty, 9 Perfect Strangers. I love Leanne Moriarty books. Fantastic. So she wrote Little Big Lies, which if anybody has seen the TV show, read the book. It's way better. Seriously, read the book. But, you know, they do that. And now I believe there's a second series of Little Big Lies coming on Foxtel as well, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. But no, the book is way better than the TV show, and I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm not a Nicole Kidman fan, but she was actually not too bad in that. But the book's set in Australia and it's very Aussie, whereas they changed some stuff in it to obviously because it was an American adaptation to it, so it's a little bit different. And they added some things in that aren't in the book to obviously just juice it up a bit. But no, the book's fantastic. And there was no sex scenes like that in the book, which is in the TV show. Just to let you know, for those that need to know that. But this is hilarious. Well, it's not meant to be a comedy. It's just interesting. So on the back it says shame, guilt, loss, grief, privilege, insecurity, addiction, identity and love. And yeah, essentially that's what it is. It's 9 strangers who go to a health retreat. Obviously if you go to a health retreat you're looking for something, and it's what happens there. Yeah, I've almost finished. Really good. Another person that you should read if you get a chance to read Leanne Moriarty. Fantastic. Right, so I have now got to the end of my standard video with my updates. I probably could do the next bit. I'm just thinking whether I should do it as a separate standalone video or not. No, let's just go. Let's go with it, shall we? So let me just check my notes actually, because I just make sure I did talk to you about everything that I had planned to talk to you about. Oh, plans. That's right. That's what I was going to mention. So plans for the next week or two, because I'm going to try and come back in 2 weeks and do a video. So next week in the blogging world is what we call International Herman and Stitch Weekend. It's something that's been going on for a very long time in the blogging world, and there is a Facebook page now as well, which we basically it's similar to Stitchathon in cross stitch finish lines, but we don't have a target of how many stitches you've got to do. It's just you sit and stitch and hermit Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Who can't do that, huh? So there's no, no hard and fast rules. You do what you can do, and then we used to post on the Monday morning on our blog. So now there's people who don't have blogs that just post in Facebook, and those of us that have blogs are supposed to try and remember to post on the blogs, but But I've got to get back into that. That is one of the things I need to do this year. So my plan for next weekend is, as I half mentioned, was to start Forever and Ever. I also want to try, if I can, start the February ornament for the Just Cross Stitch Orny Facebook group, and that one's Christmas Memories it's called. So I'm going to try and do that. If I don't get that one started, I certainly want to start the one for the Christmas blog, which I'll talk about if I start it. Also, we have next week the WIP sale coming up in Stitch Mania, and an ABC sale coming up in Cross Stitch Finish Line. So for those two sales, so the WIP is a 1 day, and the ABC sale goes for 3 or 4 days, I think. I'm going to work on Hollywood art again. I thought I might as well keep that one out and work on that one. So the WIP sale is essentially, the idea behind that is to work on any of those Stitch Mania WIPs, or any WIP really. So I'm going to try and pull out some of those ones that might be Stitch Mania ones or something, but it doesn't really matter. I also want to potentially keep working on Forever Friends if I can for the WIP one. So it'll either be that or it'll be Hollywood art, because Forever Friends is a Stitch Mania style. And also I need to pull out Peacock Lady from Joan Elliott, because I haven't stitched on that yet, and I need to get on that one for the JK cross stitching group sale, for the Joan Elliott sale. And also I'm going to hopefully use that because the magical stitching and reading group, one of the January challenges is to stitch 500 stitches of gold. So I can't use my Forever Friends, what I've already stitched, because I'm using that for the yellow challenge. But there's gold in the Peacock Lady sale, so it doesn't have to be gold thread, it can be a gold DMC or a gold colour. So I'm going to try and use that as well. So that's plans for the next week or so. So yeah. See, even when I have it written down, I still almost forget to talk about it. So going forward then, I didn't need to put that away because I actually need that. So the other thing I was going to talk about was Year of WIPs. So Melanie has challenged everybody, if they want to, because it's obviously, you know, it's nobody, you don't have to do it, but if you want to, there's an extreme challenge. So with Year of WIPs, she has put up another video which sort of explains it a bit more, so you can watch that. But essentially, you have to have a minimum of 18 WIPs, so I've got 19, so tick the box. All mine are current WIPs. None of those include any new starts. I know some people have put in a couple of new starts, but mine are all WIPs. So my goal on that is to finish 50% of them, which is why I then decided to do the Stitch 9 challenge, and I chose the 9 that I would like to finish this year, and they became my Stitch 9. So after watching Melanie's video about the extreme challenge, I thought I could do that, because I really struggled to pick 19. So I can pick some of these other ones now that maybe I can fit into that. So the extreme challenge was working on your birth date, so the day you were born as opposed to the month and year. So if you're born on the 1st or the 10th or the 31st or whatever, so if you were born between the 1st and the 5th of the month, then you double the number of WIPs. If you're born from the 10th to the 31st, you choose 10 or 31 or whatever it is that your birthday is. Mine is the 5th. So I'm doubling to 10. So then that became hard, because I could fit 5 in easily, but 10 is now a challenge. That makes it now 29 WIPs that I need to try and focus on sometime this year. So then I had to think about, well, okay, what can I do to try and fit this in and maybe still be able to finish something, at least 50%. So I've picked up a few that I started last year in Stitch Mania. So again, my plans for Stitch Mania are now starting to formulate a bit more. And I was thinking with Stitch Mania that I could actually just work on my Stitch Mania WIPs. I could work on just the Year of WIPs now, because I'm going to have 29, and you know, that would fit in doing one of those every day. Or I could still do some new starts in Stitch Mania and only, so work on, I think Jessie Marie did this last year, or a couple of others did this last year, where you look at what WIPs you've done for Stitch Mania that you still got hanging around and work on those on the day, their anniversary day for Stitch Mania, and where you've got gaps, have a new start. So I'm sort of thinking along that line that I have some Stitch Mania WIPs. I think I've still got a number, I've actually written them out. So I think I had 32 Stitch Mania WIPs, so I could do pretty much a Stitch Mania WIP every day. Now some of those are little, they're just like those little free gift cards and stuff from the cross stitcher type magazines. So I could easily pull those out and finish them. There's a couple of Mill Hill kits in there, so again, they wouldn't take very long to do. Or there's actually the idea that I just pull out the ones that I really want to focus on, which is what I thought I'd do, and I've added them into this challenge here. So I can show you what they're going to be. Have I got time? Yes, I have got a little bit of time. So bear with, because this will be a bit convoluted, because I've got to pull these over. So I will just move that over there, and I'll pull these over. So this is my little pile. Now, I don't know, there are some of these you may have seen, but I think there's an awful lot that you probably haven't seen. So this may be a very first time you're going to see them. The first one I've put on the list is one I really should get finished. So this is a Buddha and Bonsai. It is a dimensions kit, and it's not, you don't stitch all of that colour, it's painted on and then you just stitch the main design. I started this back in 2010, so I really do need to finish this. And because it was a kit, it was obviously on Ada. Yeah, it's going to be a bit awkward. Hang on, let's just roll. So there you go. So you can see this is the printed bit here, and I've done the tree. And that's all I've done. And I think this is, yeah, 14 count ivory Ada. Now I've mentioned before, I do stitch Ada, as you can see. I do have some things on Ada. I don't enjoy, oops, excuse me, nearly lost a lot. I don't enjoy Ada as much as I used to. I just find it very stiff to work on. Even some of the softer Adas, I do prefer the softer linens or even weaves. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with Ada. I've got a drawer full of Ada, and I have a number of kits still with Ada. So, you know, I'm not going to get rid of my Ada just because. Next one is Christmas Eve Couriers at Comet. I finished Prancer. I think I finished Prancer last year in the end. And my idea is to eventually do all of these, but stupid me, the fabric I bought to do them is by Stitches and Spice, and of course they've gone out of business, so I can't get any more of this fabric. I bought enough. When I knew she was going out of business, I grabbed some more, but it's not quite the same because it's not all opal, so it is what it is. So this is where Comet's at. And this, the fabric is a 32 count Belfast opal linen, and it is called Arabian Nights. So essentially Prancer and Comet are going to be on this. I have Santa's Sleigh as well, and I'm only missing I think 2 of the Christmas Eve Couriers, so at some point I've got to go and buy the other 2, and then I will have them all. And my sort of thinking is what I might end up doing is the sleigh. I'm definitely doing Silver Springs from Colour Cascade, and I'll probably do the other ones. I might mix it up, see what I've got in Arabian Nights, and maybe do half Arabian Nights and half Silver Springs, and sort of mix them up that way. But you know what, they'll probably never get finished, so it won't matter anyway. Who knows? So I started that one, that was in January 2015, so you can see I need to get it finished. Then I didn't pull one out. I didn't pull one out. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll grab it in a minute and I'll add it to the end of this. So we'll keep going. So I've also got another Nora Corbett that I would like to finish. Now I've seen a couple of people actually pop this one up into their Year of WIPs, so now you'll see mine. So this is Nora Corbett's Queen Anne's Lace, which was in a magazine. It's just Cross Stitch magazine, does it say? No. I know it's somewhere. It'll be 2016, I think. April 2016, there we go, and you had it written down there somewhere when you printed off. So that's that one. I'm doing this on a colour cascade fabric called Candle Bright. And that's where she's at too. Not very much done at all. Very, very tiny weeny bit done. It's not an opal fabric, it's just a standard Belfast. And of course the fold's right in the bleeding middle. There you go. It's just a pretty pink fabric. So, little way to go on that. But, you know, why not? Bring her out. Let's just get her done as well. So, that's that one. And when did I start her? April 2016. That doesn't sound right, but maybe it was. Must have been. There you go. Must have been. Okay, so the next one I've got is called Rosemary and Thyme. Now this one I started last year, and I seem to recall I started it for a sale of some description, probably a Stitch Mania sale. It's a Gail Boosie design. And this is the picture. This came out of Cross Stitch Collection June 2012. So very, very pretty little sampler. And I'm stitching this on. This isn't Under the Sea Fabrics, and I think it's Sagebrush or something like that. I should have had it pull this out. See, I wasn't quite prepared to do this because I was going to do a separate video on this. So I apologise for the crinkling. Yes, Sagebrush. So this is 28 count Lugana. And very, very little bit done. That's it. Not much at all. It's a nice little piece of opal Lugana. And no significant progress. So yeah, we will have to get on to that one. Then the next one, keep losing my page. So I started that February last year. I also started in February last year Give Joy, which is a CCN chart. This came out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine, so I've just got to fold it so that you can't see the chart. So that was that. And again, not very much done on this one. So this is a Jodery Designs fabric. Now this is the fabric of the month that goes with the Elf thread. So this is called Elf, and it was her December 2016 limited edition fabric of the month. So I'm doing it on that half, but if you hold the fabric up this way, this is what it looks like. So you can see the pinks and the greens. But of course I only needed half the fabric, so I'm doing it on half. The 28 count Opal Brittany Elf. The next one we have is another Gail Boosie, and this one is called Enjoy the Moment, and it's a teacup sampler. Again, I'm pretty sure I started this for some sale. And this came out of the Cross Stitch Collection May 2011. This would have been Stitch Mania. This is Stitch Mania. I remember now. I'm pretty sure that's when it, did I say it was May? Yeah, this is the Stitch Mania. And absolutely nothing to show. Nothing whatsoever to show. Little teeny weeny bit in the centre. And this is on Hand Dyed by Stephanie Pixie Kiss in 28 count Lugana. So of course blows out so you can't really see the pretty colour, but it is a really pretty oranges and pinks. There we go. And the teacups are all pretty blues, so very, very pretty. So that was a Stitch Mania one. So these are all the colours, just pretty blues and whites. So we'll get that one pulled out for Stitch Mania at some point and get this challenge sorted out. So the others, the next two are also Stitch Mania starts. This one is Forest Snowfall, which is also a Country Cottage Needleworks design. This is this one. Now, Chelsea and Priscilla from memory did a sale with this one, which is probably why I started this one around about whenever I did, but I did start it for Stitch Mania, but that's their sale, and I'm doing it in the called for colours. And this is also on a Jodery Designs fabric. This one is called November Rain, which was the limited edition. And let's just get this right. Let's just get this right. There we go. And that's it. That's all I've done, just words. I was actually going to bring this out for the ABC sale this month, but I've changed my mind and decided to do that Hollywood one instead. But so it's just on a, it's like a grey sort of colour. Pretty little neutrally type fabric. And then we have one more, which was also a Stitch Mania start. This one is also a cross stitch collection, a really old one. I don't even know whether, I don't have a date on it. No, don't have a date on it, but very, very old. I know this is very, very old. And this is called Morning Has Broken, and it's by a designer called Mari Richards. You don't see a lot of her designs around. Essentially, one of the reasons I started this, it's been sitting in my file for a long time. This is a little story. So when I was, I don't know how old I would have been. I was 15 when Prince Charles came to visit. So Princess Anne came when I was a lot younger. I must have been in grade 5 or something, so probably about 9 or 10. And when I grew up in the Pilbara, and we had the Queen come one year, we had Princess Anne come, and we also had Prince Charles come. So Prince Charles I met, because I actually had to open his door when he got out the car, so I was there to greet him, so that was exciting. Princess Anne, we just had to sing a song. So the class, we all did something, because so she essentially came to our assembly and we all did some different things at our assembly. And the song that the class sang was Morning Has Broken. So that's why it's a little special memory for me for that particular song. Now, that's all I've done. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Part of the reason is I don't have all the threads for this particular design. So I'm going to have to get the rest of the threads for it. But that is literally all I've done. Teeny weeny bit in the corner. And this is also on a, oh no, this is an Under the Sea Fabrics. This is an Under the Sea Fabrics fabric. Oh, it's Gay, is it Gayleen? Yes, it's Gayleen. So this is Gayleen, which is sort of blues and greens and pretty colours. So yeah, so that's Gayleen. So it's 28 count opal Lugana Under the Sea Fabrics. In fact, if I fold it, you can sort of see a bit more of the colour. Not much, but a bit more. So that is 9 of the 10. So I'm going to pause you quickly here. I will run and get the other one and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So this is the one I forgot. This one I have been stitching on. I apologise. That was 8. This is number 9. Number 10. Bear with. Okay, so this one I started in January 2015, and it is the trilogy sneak peek, the Halloween sneak peek. I was using this for my Halloween Orny blog in 2015, so, you know, I did the cat, the pumpkin, the ghost, and the haunted house. Never got around to doing that, and I was also doing the border as I was going. Very simple little thing. The border's a pain in the ass, but, you know, it is what it is. And I'm doing this. Now, this is a Stitches and Spice fabric. I've never stitched on such a small count before. So this was challenging in its own way. This is like, I think it was like a 55 count piece of fabric. She had Shanghai linen written on it. So it's probably more of an uneven weave than an even weave. And this fabric name is Eureka. It's very hard to show you how pretty it actually is. It is quite yellow, sort of yellowish. So it is quite, it's not quite, yeah. But, you know, sort of, yeah, we're sort of getting there, but yeah, it is quite yellow. So as you can see, I have done most of them. I've still got obviously a lot of the border to do, and I've just got to get the witch done, which is why I thought I really should pull it out and get it done, because it is. And brain didn't think I could have done 309 stitches in black on this on the border and would have had that border done, but yeah, it is what it is. So that is number 9. So number 10 for my Year of WIP challenge is going to be Forever and Ever. So I need to get that started before the 18th. So at the moment it's a new start, but I will make sure I've got a couple of stitches in there to say that it is a WIP. But a lot of the Year of WIP stuff you can include new starts anyway, but I just want to make sure I've got at least one stitch in to say it's a WIP. So that will be the 10th one for the challenge, because I would like to get that as reasonably close to finished as possible before I start another one. And I think that's it. So this is going to be pretty long. I don't know whether when I do the iMovies update, the editing on my phone, whether my phone will like it, because it had a hissy fit a couple of months ago when I tried to do an hour-long one and save it back down. So it might get hissy fitting, and if it is, then what I'll do is I'll just upload it as part A and part B, and we'll go from there. But it is what it is. And it is a Sunday afternoon. It has just hit 12 o'clock, so I'm going to pack up now and get some stitching in, because if I don't do some stitching, I'm not going to get any done today. So I will call it quits here. I would like to say thank you, because I forgot again at the beginning of my video, I'm pretty sure to say thank you to my new subscribers, which I have had another few more over the last week or so. So thank you very much for subscribing, and I hope you do enjoy my videos. If you do enjoy them, please hit the like button and please comment, and I will get back to you if you have questions eventually. I'm a bit slow at doing that. Yeah, it's just one of those things that's sort of, yeah, I do get there. And I meant to say, I think Bronwyn had a question about me stitching on Ada. So yeah, Bron, I don't mind Ada, but I prefer linen and even weave, as I've mentioned. So I'm not an Ada snob though. I will stitch on Ada, and I've actually got some really pretty purple Ada that I'm going to try and use this year. Trusty journal is been finished for the day. I can put her away now. Stitching. Oh, I meant to show you something before I go. Remember I was talking to you about my stitchy journal. So, my stitchy journal. The other day I was going through a pile of stuff that I used to decoupage. So I've got paper everywhere in a big box that I used to use for my decoupage. This was a long time ago. And I was going through it because I was looking for some pretty things so I could put in my stitchy book. And one of the things I found was something which I'd cut out and I hadn't ever used, was this little saying. If you can read it, hopefully you can read it. So essentially it says, whatever it is you're wishing for, whatever you hope comes true, whatever it is you want the most, this is what this wish is for you. So I think I must have cut it out of a birthday card or something. So I decided to stick it in my stitchy book. I thought, you know what, why not? Now the other little thing that I thought I would show you is on my little stitchy book. When I made my thread drops, I kept the little round circles, and I'm using them as on here. So it'll be green for start, sorry, orange for starts, green for finishes, purple for any of my WIP WIPocalypse 2019, so I can count how many of those I've done, and then I'm using, you know, what I've spent and if I've got any finished credits. So the way I've done it is I put a top, so it had 3 new starts, and I've just put a little thing, and then I write my new start detail down here, and all my little fiddly bits. And then if I have a finish, same thing. So I put a little green one there was a new start and there was a finish, and I just sort of fiddle around like that. Now the other thing I did is at the back of the book, I am going to, I haven't done all of these yet, but this essentially I found also in my pile of stuff, is these little things here. Now these came from my mum. She used to do a lot of pen pal writing back in the 80s and the 90s, and some of her American friends used to write on this beautiful paper, and a lot of it's Mary Engelbrett. I think it's Mary Engelbrett, that's how you pronounce it, and I love it. So Mum, what she did is she cut out obviously the letter, and she sent me all the frames. So I've got about 12 of those, so I'm going to use those as my Stitch from Stash thing, just to pretty up the paper. So I've managed to do that one. What else did I put in here the other day? Oh, when I wrote down my, yeah, so this is how I'm going to do it. This is essentially what I'm going to do, a Stitch from Stash. So I've just got to stick a few more in there yet. And then I also used these ones here. So I've made a page for my WIPocalypse year of WIPs, and I've got to fill in my new ones. And so I just prettied up the pages there. So that's that. And what else did I, that's all I've done so far, I think. So I'm just doing little pretty things. Oh, and then the School of Magical Stitches, I've just given it, I'm going to do, sort of write the challenges in here so I can keep a track of the challenges. I may have it on my phone, and I might have it saved somewhere in my calendar and stuff, but I still like paper and pen. I'm old school in some ways, and I like doing pretty things, like stickers and stuff, so yeah, so that's it. Now I really will say goodbye. So I'm going to cut out the gobbledygook that I just put in there just before, because I'd sort of remembered, and yeah, but so I might cut bits and pieces out. So if it seems a bit disjointed, you know why, because I cut some stuff out. But anyway, so I will go now. So I'd like to just say thank you very quickly again for those of you who have subscribed, old and new subscribers, those of you who've come back and watch, and I hope you did enjoy the convoluted video, and whether it becomes 1 or 2, we'll soon find out. So thank you for your encouragement. I hope you can continue to encourage me to get some of these WIPs out of the way, and who knows, we might have a number of finishes for the year, which would be fantastic. So till then, I'll see you. I'm going to hopefully come back in about 2 weeks' time and give you another update on how I went for the rest of January. And I'll see you then. Take care. See you soon. Bye.